What's up, you guys? Welcome back. My Korean friends constantly ask me how come Swedish people and Scandinavian people speak so good English. Because still, Scandinavians are known for being very lazy and they have a very laid-back culture. So why is that we speak so good English still, since we don't study as much as the most other countries does? Today, I'm gonna give you the 10 best tips how to become fluent in English in 6 months as soon as possible, the Scandinavian way. Surround yourself with English and challenge yourself. You don't need to be in an English-speaking country to surround yourself with English. Look at Sweden, look at Scandinavia. We're constantly surrounded by English in our everyday pop culture. Basically from the day we're born. Most Swedish artists sing in English. Most TV shows we have around us on TV is in English. So if you put on a TV in Sweden or in Scandinavia, you will see the American movies on TV. And we don't necessarily produce so many movies every year, so when we actually go to the movie theater, it's basically only English movies in the movie theater. Find ways to make English part of your everyday life. Like surround yourself with the pop culture. See English movies instead of Korean movies sometimes, even though Korean movies are better. For example, in Sweden we don't have like dubbed version or Swedish translation when we play video games. It's all the time in English. So try to challenge yourself. Try to Google instead of neighboring. Maybe change your language on your phone to English instead of Korean. Make English friends. Even if you don't live in an English speaking country, there are probably some foreigners living nearby. Find ways to interact with the foreigners, because going to foreign bars, restaurants, joining social clubs, sports club, you name it. Maybe arranging language exchange somewhere. Foreigners in Korea loves Koreans. They love Korea. They want to be surrounded by Koreans. Don't translate everything. All through my studied life, I've had this problem when I study. I always translated word by word all the time. I mean, when I used Google Translate from English to Korean, it becomes a mess. Nothing makes sense. At least that's definitely my experience from learning Korean word by word. Try instead to listen to the essence of the sentence. Go abroad! Basically, the best way to learn English and another language is, of course, to go to the country where they speak this language that you're aiming to learn. And it's no secret that English is the most widely speaking language all over the world, so there are a lot of different countries that you can pick from based on weather, city, what you want to experience. Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, England, South Africa, etc, etc. Scandinavia, why not? When I grew up, all the friends who were the most surrounded by English were the ones who was the best in English. For example, I lived in London for some months when I was like 12, and when I came back after those months, I didn't have to study for the next 4 or something years in school because I learned so much when I was there. Learn about the culture. Find out about people and how the culture works in English-speaking countries. Learning a language is not only about grammar, it's about communicating with people who has different way of thinking, speaking, socializing, etc, etc. Set fun goals. Give yourself a reason to study. Do you want to get a promotion? Be able to have a foreign wife or foreign husband? Spend just the next holiday in an English-speaking country? Or just a visual goal, like finishing a whole book or a whole movie? Whatever you do, have fun. Learning a language takes a lot of work. You will most likely learn to stick with doing it if you're having fun and enjoying yourself. Learn from Scandinavians. We are lazy, but we have to make it fun. You should definitely focus on communication. Fun, playful way to learn English is to focus on imitation. I mean, imitating is definitely how I learned, at least when I was younger, because I used to play in a lot of bands when I grew up, and I used to sing in those bands, and of course, like most other artists, we were singing in English. So I wanted to sound like the American bands that I listened to. So I overly pronounce each and every word to make it sound like them, just like I'm doing right now. But I think it's definitely a good way to learn. And try to listen to real English. Try to listen to English spoken at normal speed. So practice listening without seeing things written down. It's easy to find English movies and videos online. Well, you should keep watching my videos to learn English. And try to find online courses. If you find a really good English online course that really focuses on all these things that we have gone through in this video, you're definitely on the right track. Perfect example of this are online courses such as Core Movie, who are literally focusing on fun, imitation, and goal orientation. You get to study English through movies, through pop culture, just like we do in Scandinavia. So with movies, you can learn all the factors all at once. Some sentences are easy to read, but in reality, when you hear it, it doesn't sound the same. You can't hear it if you don't see it at the same time. So the sound of English that we expect sounds different. So what you listen to in the movies are the real sound of English. All these online lectures that you purchase, they often do it when they have come to a big decision that they're really gonna commit to it. But most of them, according to statistics, actually don't finish the whole course until the end because it's lacking the fun of it. But with Core Movie, you have a goal orientation to finish a whole movie. The teachers doing the lectures are mostly Koreans who have mastered English through movies. So cool. So Core Movie is a perfect way to learn English because they focus on fun by imitating, repeating, and goal orientation. So learn English the Scandinavian way. I believe in you. I'll see you in the next video.